Robert Kiyosaki, Grant Cardone, Stephan, Ken McElroy. What do all these guys have in common? Well, they're all real estate investors. They're all super successful. Now, I learned from these guys as much as possible, and so should you. And I put together some key lessons from these guys, and I'm going to tell you exactly what they are, and I give you a little bonus at the end as well from a top lesson for me, so stick around. All right, Robert Kiyosaki. I love Robert Kiyosaki. Obviously, he wrote the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And what I love about him in general and the book specifically is it bends your mind, right? It develops your mindset and introduces this whole idea about financial freedom and passive income, obviously, which influence all of our lives. But I love one of his philosophies that's not directly in his book, in some of his other book, and I heard him speak live, and it's this idea of be, do, have. So in other words, obviously we all know that in order to have something, we have to do something. That's common sense to us. But be comes before those things, meaning that you have to become someone so that enables you to do something till you can have something. A lot of us just start doing something, but we're not ready for it. Our mindset is not there. Our character is not ready there, right? So who do you need to become a better investor? Who do you need to become to be more generous? Who do you need to become to have better relationships, right? So really focus on that being part, which is part of the journey as well. It's also part in preparing your mindset. So I used to discount all this mindset stuff, but I no longer believe that. I spent a lot of time creating clarity. That's why I practiced the Miracle Morning. The book Hal Elrod wrote, The Miracle Morning, super powerful to really work on that being part and being very clear about what you want in life and what you don't want in life. Grant Cardone, right? So I love Grant Cardone. He's over the top, 10x everything. He's crazy. You know, one of the things he says a lot is the biggest mistake when buying real estate is when you're not buying real estate, right? He's like, buy real estate. It's like, don't be an idiot. His stance is if you're not buying right now, it's because you don't know what you're doing, right? So it is a major cop-out to say, oh, the market is too hot right now. We can't find good deals. And it is, in fact, a cop-out. It's just I'm a little nicer about it, but he's not wrong, right? So if you're not buying right now, it means that you don't know what you're doing right now. So it's just a matter of educating yourself, knowing more about the asset class, really, knowing the financials, knowing how to analyze deals, having advisors around you, having a good team around you, like property managers who can advise you, and just focusing really on the underwriting and analysis. I mean, the reason that some people get themselves in trouble is for two reasons. One is they overestimate the income, underestimate the expenses. Okay, obviously. And then the third class are the people who are too conservative. We see it a lot, right? They're super conservative, and as a result, nothing ever pencils because they're looking to eliminate the risk in real estate. Well, let me tell you something. We're actually not in the risk avoidance business. We're in the risk management business, meaning that we take on risk. We just want to manage that risk. So if you're super conservative, well, you're never going to lose money, but you're certainly not going to make money either, right? It's not like defense wins games in real estate, right? You got to do some offense. You just got to be smart about it. So I love that about him, just being aggressive without being stupid. Stefan, love him. Yeah, he's great about personal finance in general. He's also a real estate investor, and he's big about making money when you buy. So he says either buy into cash flow or buy into equity, or better yet, buy into a combination of the two, which of course is perfect for real estate as well. He also says never fall in love with an investment. Sometimes you come across a deal, and this happens all the time, whether it's a house or an apartment building, you visit there, it's in a great neighborhood, the weather's nice, the birds chirping, and you spend a little time there, and then you start crunching the numbers, and you're like, the deal's not great, but it really is a beautiful property, and you start talking yourself into it, right? So don't fall in love with a property. Again, focus on the numbers and make sure it cash flows. Focus primarily on your cash flow because that is key. Don't get in a situation, well, you know what, I'm going to fix it up and make it cash flow. No, make sure it cash flows and you just make it cash flow more. So I love that. Stephan, so follow him as well. He's got a lot of great advice on personal finance. Ken McElroy, flipping homes won't make you wealthy. I couldn't agree more. You can make money flipping homes, and this is what I've done. And, there is a difference between rich and being wealthy in many different ways. For example, the difference between flipping houses and apartments is that you can make money by flipping houses, but you're not creating wealth, okay? And I never understood that. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I started flipping houses, and I made money, but I wasn't creating wealth because when I wasn't buying, fixing, and selling houses, I wasn't making any money. And then worse, when I stopped that, the money would stop flowing. So, Ken's advice, which I agree with, is just focus on the cash flow from the start and ignore the temptation of fast money. All right, let me ask you a question. Why is it that Robert Kiyosaki can sell millions of books, that Grant Cardone can raise hundreds of millions of dollars a year, or Stefan has 3.4 million YouTube subscribers? The last lesson from all these guys is that you need to start paying attention to building a platform. You might think that you are a real estate investor. In fact, you are, but you got to start thinking online because the big boys play online. That's how you scale your syndication business. That's how you raise more and more money. That's how Grant does it. That's how Ken McElroy does it. That's how we do it. That's all the big syndicators you see out there. They all started because they started paying attention to building a platform.